Good afternoon and welcome to another round of the 25th anniversary pod racing tournament. It's a rough afternoon for me here, but it's a good afternoon for some racing. I am Radiant Variant, and our competitors today will be DA Racer and Mageius. In the first round of, give me one moment. Yes, the first round of the lower losers brackets. Racers have already set up their first track for the day. We're going to be starting off on Sebulba's Legacy, one of the qualifier tracks for this year. Mageius already selecting Ben, and Droopy keeping their racer hidden for the moment. But I would imagine it's going to be double Ben. Making sure the stream is good to go. I think we're all set. As soon as both players are ready up, we'll be good to start. The countdown is incoming. And we are ready to begin. Mageius already on the restart. Droopy actually holding the second best time for this track at a 156.788. So on paper, I think they have the advantage, with Mageius having a very dicey time of it at 322 with 11 crashes. But we'll see what happens. I'm not ruling anyone out here. I know better. I've learned my lesson when it comes to that. We're just waiting on them both getting ready. Mageius has started. DA has started. And we are underway with about a half-second sync time. Droopy heavy on the boost over the methane pools. Going into the first turn. A little dicey for Mageius. Get on that boost, brother. You're going to need to get on that boost. DA is Sebulba. Wait a minute. My goodness. Had me completely fooled for a moment. I did not see it. Mageius having a rough go of it. 2 crashes in so far. Looks like they're going a longer route. DA closing out the first lap of the 45-25, and Mageius with another crash. No! And they're down in the pit. Oh no. Goodness, they're in the tunnel. All over the place. All over the place while Sebulba increases his lead. And another rough crash in the first turn. Too heavy on the boost. Do what you can. Sebulba on the big turn, heading back to start finish for the second time around. Oh man, another crash from Mageius. Droopy firmly in the lead. Mageius hitting the canyon. A little bit on the boost. Careful with those walls. Mind the turn. Oh man, another flat. Jeez. Mageius being ground to pieces out there on this track. DA closing in on the start-finish line for the last time. And closing out the race with a 2:12.57. With Mageius still a little bit of a struggle here. They're closing in on the methane pools for the third lap. Got to keep it together. Closing in on the canyon. Be careful with those walls. Ah, there's another crash heading out of the canyon. This is definitely rough for Mageius. They're on one of the last two turns. They're almost out of here. Ah, one more crash. And they're stuck going down to the tunnel route. Oh, they're going to try and make their way up. Nope. Oh, no. Good Lord. Mageius being torn up on this track. But they are through. Through with a 3:23.53. It was rough, but they're across. And that is the first point to DA Racer. Phew. That is how we're starting off. One trip around one of the qualifier tracks. And we are on to the next. Verifying times. Yeah. And we are heading to the second track. A little bit of a dicey run. Still plenty of time for Mageius to come back. Plenty of time. Lots of racing to happen. Mageius banning Death Row's Revenge for the second race. Droopy responding with Fire Mountain Rally to be banned. Mageius banning Scrapper's Run. And Droopy banning Grabvine Gateway. No love for Barunda or Ordabana this run. Who am I kidding? I can 100% understand that. Mageius banning Ben. DA banning the Bunta Classic. And it's on to the pick. Is that what we're doing? I wouldn't mind a trip there. Let's see if Mageius makes it official with this track. Anxiously waiting. Come on. I want to see what track you pick. It is looking like Sunken City. Yes. We are starting this one off on Sunken City. Sunken City with no Ben. This will be interesting. As you can imagine, the tournament record for this one goes to Dom with a 4:02.338. With the best available pod right below him is Goofbrush with a 4:04.348 and one crash. I can imagine he'd hold the record if it wasn't for that crash. DA has selected their racer. And it looks like Mageius is selecting Bullseye for his. I did not catch who Droopy picked. I think my audio is good. We'll definitely see in a moment. Oh, what is this? Mageius selecting bowls. Okay. Oh, that's an early crash in warm-ups. Oh boy. Bowls is fast, but I don't know if he's the pick you want. We will definitely see. Thank you, LP. I very much appreciate it. I am so used to having a co-pilot here in this. But not today. 30 seconds to the countdown. DA picking Sebulba once again and doing donuts at the start line. If that doesn't scream confidence, I don't know what does. On paper, Bowles might handle a little bit worse, but in terms of sheer speed, Bowles is going to blow Sebulba out of the water. We will see how this goes down, though, because the shortcut in the city is going to be a little bit tricky. And we're ready to start. I believe Droopy is underway. Nope. Have not gotten the restart yet. Just waiting patiently. Mageius is looking to be ready to roll. DA still shattering Sebulba's pod into all the pieces in the world. And we are both at the restart. Another half second of sync time. Easy. And they're off. They just better get on the boost if they want to keep up. Be careful. Oh, no, it's that collision in the aquarium tunnel. That one is a killer. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. They're airborne going into the second half of the aquarium tunnel. Another crash on the exit with DA on the boost as they head up toward the city shortcut. They're on the brakes, they're on the slide. A little bit of a bump there, but they're through. Mageius through the sluice gates as well, unharmed. They're moving toward, they're missing the tube. Oh boy. They're taking the scenic route, which with Bull's speed, it's understandable, but Sebulba's lead is growing ever longer. They're already in the stadium. Oh! Another crash into the city for Mageius. Come on, brother. Ow, there's another one. With DA heading toward the final aquarium tunnel before start finish. They're on the boost and they're on a tilt going uphill. Coming toward the figure eight. I don't know how Bowles survived that impact there. Sebulba closing out the first lap with a 136.03. With Bowles rushing down the stadium, taking another big hit. Engine is in the red, and that's the collision with the wall. Heading back toward the aquarium tunnel. Droopy lighting up and struggling to repair that right engine. And they make it through the sluice gates intact. Bowles on the boost going into the figure eight. Watch out. Oh! Right side on the figure eight. I usually see them on the left, but we'll see how they make it up. They're on the boost. Oh, no! Right after the start line, they're on the crash. My goodness, Sunken City claiming a lot of lives today, but Sebulba's still going strong through the main stadium. A little bit of a slide, a little bit of a bump. Be careful. Mageius out of the first aquarium tunnel on the boost getting towards the sluice gates. Be careful. Oh, that's the corner. With them being invulnerable in the sluice gate. Oh no! Zinged when they should have zagged. Not good. Sebulba on the way back towards start finish line. Slightly faster than last lap with a 1:45 or 1:35, excuse me. Oh, Mageius on another crash, exiting the city. With DA still going strong to the final set of sluice gates. They're going right to left. They're through. With Mageius on their way toward the main stadium. And there's the crash that didn't happen last lap. Oh boy. Dripping on the slide through the city shortcut. Makes it almost clean. Mageius building up a lot of speed in the main stadium. They're going to need it. Careful with this wall here. It will sneak up on you. Oh! Back at it going toward the final aquarium tunnel. A little bit more on the boost heading in. With DA finishing out the main stadium. Heading towards the downslope, approaching the final aquarium tunnel. Mageius on the right side of the figure eight one more time. They are through to start finish and back on the boost. With DA. Oh, that's a crash. Sunken City definitely tearing him up today. Oh, Droopy with a crash. That will stop you from getting into the clear. Closing out lap 3 with a 1:38.08 for a final time of 4:39.37. And now it's on Mageius to finish up the race. Goes into the second aquarium tunnel clean this time around. Navigates the sluice gates intact. And they're on the boost heading towards the city shortcut. They are zipping through the tunnels for the scenic route. Okay. That's plenty of straightaway for the boost to apply. Careful, careful. No crashes this time. And they are clean safe through the scenic route. Until the end of it. Oh boy. Heading up the ramp this time. How that wall got him. Admittedly, I have lost count of the amount of crashes this run. It's been a rough one. Oh boy, there's another one. Come on, buddy, pull through. No more crashes for this run. You got this. Tilting and on the boost, a little bit of a scrape there. Careful with that second wall. Playing very dangerous. I don't know how they're staying intact. There's another crash right before the final aquarium tunnel. They're on their way up. A little bit of boost heading toward the figure eight. Ah, one more crash at the figure eight. Yikes. But they are through to the end, and we are clear with a final time of what's looking like a 6:53. And that is round 2. So far, Sebulba is indeed always winning. As Droopy takes a 2-0 lead. Oh boy. It is looking like a bit of a rough one for Mageius. They aren't out of it yet, but it is looking pretty rough. The 2-0 hole is not impossible to navigate out of, but we will see. Mageius temp banning Ben for the third race. DA banning the Gauntlet for the third race. And we are on to the pick. Let's see where we're going next. It looks like we are going to Mongaza, but not for the Speedway. For a bit of a much tougher track. Indeed, we are going to Zuga Challenge for race number 3. Zuga Challenge, yet another one of our qualifying tracks this year. With this track being the record being held by Dolare with a 419.153, and the best available pod next to it being a 429.571. Mageius once again selecting bowls for this track. Oh. Wait a minute. The countdown was stopped. Mageius aborting the countdown for just a moment. But it does look like Mageius is firm in their selection of Ben. Or Bowles, excuse me. With DA mirroring the Bowles pick. Droopy is now ready. Mageius, I need you to ready up on this end. There we go. 3, 2, 1. And I think we're ready to go. Mageius making a few adjustments in the shop. DA somehow surviving that in practice. It looks like Mageius is ready for the restart. Just waiting on DA to be set. And it looks like they are as well. And I think they are off. Not quite. What is this? Back on Sebulba. Droopy making a statement here, and it looks like about a 6-second sync time. That's a crash for Mageius right off the bat. Heading into the abandoned dozer section. Again, on paper, Bowles' raw speed should be able to outgun Sebulba here. But DA with a commanding 2-0 lead might put that one down. Although by the looks of it, Bowles is catching right up in the straightaways that make this track fun. even with bumps, they're into the marketplace a good second and a half ahead, it looks like. Or is that the time sync slowing me down? Yep. Sebulba making up the distance, lost in the straights to Bull's speed. Heading into the corkscrew. Oh, there's a crash from DA in corkscrew cage. Mageius having a chance to take the lead, although they do take the right-hand side, which is a little bit longer than the left hand. DA takes back the lead, heading towards the small jump, and Mageius turns too hard to the right. Bumping the wall, hopping over the lava jump. On the uphill toward the last run. But here comes the dozer. DA will be the first to engage it in combat. Stream is lagging, but it looks like they've navigated it cleanly. Mageius, on the other hand, eats the center portion of the dozer. They are forced to take the crash. DA taking lap 1 with a 149. And another crash for Mageius heading towards start-finish. They're going to close lap 2 out with a 2 minutes 4.42 time. Oof, that was a rough bump. I don't know how they survived that one. DA Racer still firmly ahead. Mageius has a lot of lost ground to recover, but they are the faster racer and they can do it. But there's a crash in the third dozer. On the downhill with DA closing in on the market. Mageius still has a lot of speed to work with. That might help out. Oh, another crash going into the long straight. Come on, brother. Can't be making those goofs. Straighten it out and let that boost roll. Closing in on the market, putting over 1,000. Cutting the boost. Oh, bad corner. Bad corner in the market. With Droopy already making over the lava jump, they're on to the final uphill towards the run. Mageius in corkscrew cage, not on the boost, not crashing. Sebulba starving for heat to use as they close in on dozer number 2. They navigate the outside lane while Mageius crashes heading toward the lava jump turn. Well, on the slide to close lap 2 with a 142.91. Oh, one more crash in the uphill for Mageius. Sebulba a little jumpy in the dead dozer section. Mageius making up a lot of time with that long straightaway. Heading toward dozer number 2 with it in a good position all the way at the bottom of the hill. That's a clean dozer navigation. Bull's back on the boost. Be careful. Watch the sides. And back on the boost at the final lap. Oh, too much time on the wall. That's another crash. With DA in the marketplace in the final lap. Heading on the left side of corkscrew cage. Mageius crashing in the dead dozer section against the wall. They're back at it. Careful. A little bit of boost on the downhill. Wouldn't hurt. Sebulba closing in on the lava jump. Up and over. Onto the final uphill. With both racers having unorthodox picks and different times, dozer navigation has been a little bit different from what we're used to seeing. I do not know if there has ever been a gentleman's agreement to permaban Ben for the match. I could not tell you. I do not have enough tournament experience to know all of the matches where Ben has been considered to be off the table for the whole run. But so far, we're getting there. I don't think it's a gentleman's agreement, but it definitely is by the bans. Mageius heading toward tricky turn towards one last lava jump. They boost over the gap. They're on to the final uphill. Be careful. Boosting up this hill would not hurt. Back on this last straightaway, pulling over 1,010. Dozer 3 is in a bad spot. And that's the center block of the Dozer. Oof. Not forgiving, not today. They are back on the boost, heading towards start finish. And no crashes until crossing the line on a crash. Mageius closes with what looks like a 6:08:02. I do not think I'm getting these crash counts right, but I'm trying. It's pretty rough today. But the hull gets ever more difficult to navigate out of. With DA Racer now up 3 points to 0 as we go into race number 4. With Mageius once again banning Ben. I appreciate it, Shihali. I put down 13, so I barely got it right. DA once again banning the gauntlet. It is DA's race to lose here. And it looks like Mageius is making their selection. It is looking like a track favorite for us. We are going to Ando Prime Centrum with Slide Paramita, the track favorites. Sebulba will have to sit this one down, or sit this one out, excuse me. We have seen a few racers in the past want to try and force this track, but it's always been sniped off in the banning. Not today. We will be able to have some fun with Slide. With the track record here going to Goofbrush's Ben, but with best available, Adipt holds the record here with a 3:01.623. With Mageius in third with a 4 minutes and 5 second time. Mageius on the podium with DA not having a placement here. Countdown starting in a minute. DA has made the switch over to Slide. Slide lives up to his name. He's got a very powerful slide. Not the most top speed heavy pod. I think he only clocks out at around 810, 820. But if you got to slide through something, Mr. Paramita is your man. And can do one heck of a backflip. Mageius looking like they're already ready to go. DA probably shortly to follow. Come on, Mageius. Make him put that broom away. Make him put that broom away. No sweeps here. I got faith. The DA taking the left path. Okay. Smashing through the icicles into the central arena on practice. And here comes the big old S-curve. Slide handles that like a dream. And as he launches up, you are also able to take advantage of one of this game's more funny features, the fact that a lot of the obstacles that are in your way sometimes aren't as solid as they seem. You're able to fly through some of the buildings, some of the fences. You're able to go through a lot of things here. And the countdown is finished. We're ready to get underway. DA looking to close out their warm-up lap with a time just under a minute, or just over a minute. So we are on to the restart. Race number 4 is underway in just a moment. We will see what happens. We will see if DA makes it onto the podium of best times, or if Mageius takes him down one round. Mageius making the restart. Ooh, Mageius taking the crash early. They may not have the time to go to the right lane, but they get a good respawn aiming for the right lane. They smash through the icicle. DA making it toward the S-curve. Oh, Mageius strips in the fence into the S-curve. Navigate through it, get on that boost. With DA racing through the tighter corridors. They're into the Centrum. They're about to leave it. Looks like DA catches fire on engine 2, heading toward the down ramp. Mageius with crash number 3, heading into the main portion of the Centrum. As DA zips down the hill, landing on the path with a just under a minute and 1, just under it. Mageius closing in on the start-finish line, about 15 or so seconds behind. DA still playing solid, boosting up toward the S-curve. A little bit of a bump on the S-curve. Got to be careful. Back on the boost, heading toward the Centrum. They're up, and they're through the geometry. Buildings are just optional here, folks. Oh, S-curve takes down Mageius for the 4th crash. DA lights up again. Engine 1 getting a little bit torched as Mageius tries to catch up in the Centrum. Barely dodging. Close. DA taking a 101.29 for lap 2 onto the final lap. Mageius gunning the boost on the downhill. Landing and closing out lap 2 with a 104.99. Droopy with a crash in the S-curve. No flawless race from DA this time. Mageius into the central arena. Be careful for scrapes. Closing in on the S-curve. Oh, decent bump to engine number 2. Not enough to put it in the red, but getting close. DA lighting up again on engine number 1. That has been 1 engine fire per lap. Getting a little bit toasty over there. Mageius on the boost. Engine 2 taking a beating. Droopy lighting up again. 4 engine fires. My goodness. With Mageius on the downhill. Looking to close out this race with what looks like it'll be a 323. 322.98. A great 3rd lap for Mageius. But the winner of race number 4 is DA. A much better run in APC for Mageius. But as it stands, it is match point to DA. And we have indeed reached a match where Ben Quadanero sits out the entire thing. I think. Except for the first race. Except for the first race, Ben has been sitting out the entire run. The bans remain the same. Mageius banning Ben Quadaneros, and DA once again banning the gauntlet. For the final selection, what could be the final selection is looking like another track favorite for us. But for which board? Oh, never mind. Oh, yes, we are seeing a track favorite force. We may be closing this one out on Executioner, with a track favorite force putting Toy Daphner as the required racer for race number 5. Oh boy, Executioner. What is there to say that hasn't already been said? This track is a brutal wake-up call for the Galactic Pod Racing Circuit. The anti-gravity tunnels are where this track gets its name because they will frag you very easily. Outside of that, the track is decently forgiving. Faster racers can take the red road shortcut heading towards the second anti-gravity tunnel. You got a lot of options here, but you got a lot of depth to go with it. And a lot of people hate on Toy. I like him because he's got one of, if not the best cooling rates in the entire game. And not even being a nimble pod like, say, Slide or Bullseye, he's still got a great cooling rating without having to be that frame. So this ought to be interesting. I can get down with the Toy track favorite pick. I enjoy it. But will the racers enjoy it? Because Executioner is not a fun board to me. I much rather prefer Vengeance. Which is interesting because we almost had all of the qualifying tracks in this race. We had Sebulba's Legacy to kick it off and Zuga Challenge in the middle. If we had gone to Vengeance here, we would have had the full suite of qualifier tracks. $30 seconds to the race, excuse me. No half-hour breaks here, my mistake. Began crashing in practice. That might not be the best omen. And time for the final countdown. 3, 2, 1. And we're ready to start. I think DA is off right at the starting pistol. Nope, they are taking the restart. That is fine. The track record here goes to Goofbrush with Ben Quadaneros, but with the best available pod right below that is Digital Unity with a 447.232 with 6 crashes, with Mageius in third with 5 minutes 50 seconds and 16 crashes. It just might be the final countdown, Seiryu. It just might be. This is Mageius' last chance to force DA to put away the brooms. Mageius on the restart. DA on the restart as well. We're off. Oh, first wall taking a death. Mageius crashing early. Right back to it. Mind the second gap. Oh boy, it looks like Droopy taking a crash on the red road. With Mageius taking a crash going down toward the lower path. Oh boy. Executioner's axe is being sharpened today. There are going to be a lot of heads claimed by this one. Mageius navigating. Oh! Rocking the first anti-gravity tunnel for Mageius. And a clean landing for DA in the second anti-gravity tunnel after eating a rock. But crashing into the Uvo door. Heading towards the power reactor. Oh, what another crash from Mageius. Crashes abound. DA closing in on, Ovo door for Mageius as well. DA zipping past the Exogorth. Closing in on the end of anti-gravity tunnel 3. On towards start finish. Mageius takes the far left road, and it costs him with a crash. But now they're onto the Sarlacc tunnel. Or the Exogorth tunnel, excuse me, that ain't no Sarlacc. Zipping through and staying in the air. And taking a crash before start finish. It is definitely looking like Crash Team Racing in here, say to you. We have a lot of wall impacts here. Walls, doors, rocks, everything's out to kill you on this track. With DA closing in on the second anti-gravity tunnel. They get a little bit of elevation to make a clean entrance. Underneath a rock, that's 2 rocks hit. DA playing his own personal rock sweeper. Mageius taking the red road and not crashing on the little gap there. With DA in through the power cages. And they are going toward the Exogorth tunnel again, taking that ideal route. The inner left one. Getting a little bit of boost back. Mageius into the second anti-gravity tunnel clean. No crashes yet. They're on the boost. They're alive, hitting 2 rocks and staying intact. And landing intact. I don't know how that happened. Very well done. With DA closing out the second lap. Oh, the Ovo door. Uvo door frags Mageius again. DA once again taking the red road. Oh, Mageius with a crash going toward the Exogorth tunnel. Oh boy. DA's stream being a little bit skippy, but they are closing in with a little bit of extra elevation to get a clean entrance into the second anti-gravity tunnel. With Mageius taking a second lap and DA getting another crash. This one is a bloodbath. Very fitting for the prison facility, but good lordy. DA closing in on the power cage. And another crash on the power cage, with Mageius matching his crash with one before the red road, but he respawns on top and gets to keep on the red road. Okay. DA taking the ideal path toward the Exogorth tunnel. No crashes this time. Mageius clearing the red road, still on the boost. With DA heading back towards start finish and closing it out with. No, that's just showboating. Mageius takes a crash, and it looks like DA Racer spun it around to back up into the start finish line. That's mean. That's mean. Even by my standards, that's kind of mean. Mageius closing out the power cages, heading toward the second path to the Exogorth tunnel. No more crashes. No more crashes. They're clean to the tunnel. And they're on their way towards start finish line. No more crashes. Yep. And they close it out with a 526.03. And that is going to be GG's. With a score of 5-0, it is a clean sweep for DA. And that is it. Droopy is your winner for today. That was a bloodbath on Executioner. That being said, I think it is time to defrag with the racer interviews at the end of the match. I'm going to get them in here. Okay, I'm having a bit of trouble with this. Give me 1 second. That's one. I hear a Droopy Angora in the chat.
Hello, people.
And there's Mageius in the chat.
Hey all.
First up, congratulations on your win, DA.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, GG's and congrats.
Thanks a lot.
You kept banning one of my favorite tracks.
We're a Gauntlet fan?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Gauntlet actually once you learn the basics of it can actually be a very good track to use.
I wanted you to take me to BEC.
Yeah. As I
If I
said,
knew,
Gauntlet
yeah.
is a fun track to actually practice on. Once you get like a few of the tricks to it, it's pretty easy, just as long as you don't force skips.
I'll be honest, I'd rather go to Gauntlet over Boonta Classic every single day of the week.
And besides, Boonta I don't know that well. Gauntlet's at least a bit easier to practice on. However, if someone can manage to do that once... Do you know if the one major skip in Gauntlet is banned in the tournament or not, even for skips?
It's only viable for skips. If I'm confident that if you run it in full track, that will cost you the race.
Oh, I'm saying in skips as the category. I'm saying the one, if you force it, the one where you literally ride up a pillar and then flip yourself around. That's stupidly hard.
Yeah, you gotta force it. But to force skips, I guess you're gonna be the one that chooses the track.
I know that. I'm saying
such a situation doesn't happen.
I know. I'm saying Gauntlet itself.
In this Gauntlet skip selection, you can do any skip that gets you through the race faster. So that one should be good.
I was just wondering on that one just out of curiosity because of how... Because, like, as I said, it's one of my favorite tracks, but I know for a fact I will never put skips on that one. But it's just, looking at that one makes you wonder, like, for some of the really hard skips, for some people, like, what tracks you would really want to actually offer that on.
Yeah, we definitely have some skip specialists around here, so it's definitely a good weapon to have in your arsenal.
It's a best for basically making it faster than MGS.
The Abyss skip is honestly the reason why I joined up the server, because I was talking to, I think it was Goofrush about it. He first told me about the record for the track normally, and that's how I wound up joining the server in the first place. So credits to the skippers. They got me in this.
Well, at first I was a full track guy. Then I ventured into skips territory, starting with Abyss, because it's the most I'll know. It's the best example of a skip in this game, given the amount of time it shaves off, and it's also pretty, easy to execute, so that's how I ended up doing skips as well.
I mean, I'm still working on learning the full tracks on that one, and it's just like I only really practice, a couple times a year for the tournament, but at the same point, I really do need to take the time to learn at least more of the game, but who has time?
It'll come with time. It gets much easier.
I know.
Also, credit to both you. You almost had a full race where Ben Quadanaro set out the entire thing.
Yeah, we didn't have Ben at all. I didn't choose Ben at all.
We had one Ben pick,
the guy right here.
First track.
Yeah.
Our guy Saboba. That was my pick.
I mean, to be fair, Ben is good, but I mean, if you don't have the top racers, it really does force a bit more, ingenuity on like what track you want to pick, and like, okay, is this a good racer for this track? Can I tweak to make this one better? By the way, remind me to never switch to 24 FPS again for Zaga.
I will keep that in mind. Zuga definitely was a bit of a killer.
Yeah, like, okay, I know, like, my biggest problem on that track is, doing some of the turns, where it's just like, I will get it, but, like, it'll be either too tight or too wide of, when trying to slow down to make it easier. So I figured I'd try to, at least do something to make it, and it just failed horribly.
It happens. Again, it'll come with practice and just finding your rhythm.
I know.
The issue is just finding the time.
And I know I'm out of the tournament, so still I'll probably try to practice some here and there, at least during the year, until next year, if we have one next year.
Of course. No time like the present to keep practicing. I'm in Botto's junkyard every single day, putting in a few laps around.
I mean,
just make the time when you can.
Just have improved overall.
Always room to improve, and that's the best part.
Yes, it is. Also, thanks for having me in the tournament again.
Of course. Of course. Anyone that can qualify is more than welcome.
I always recommend to people, I actually always recommend Episode 1 Racer, or, at least picking up, and learning at least the basics of one decent racing game for a lot of speedrunners, just because it's a good way to work on control. Racer
and it's fun.
Racer just ends up being one of those, like, if you do more, like, 3D style things, or, like, how best describe it, like, and if you play, like, the DBZ, fighting games that are the 3D ones,
the more aggressive you get.
Yeah, it's like those type of, like, if you're good at working in a 3D environment type, those type of runs, this is literally one of the ones that I'd recommend, because it uses a lot of the skill set.
Absolutely.
It's a perfect fit for speedrunning. Like, racing is the main element of racing games, and basically speedrunning is trying to complete a game as fast as you can. So it kind of is racing as well.
And
so it mixes perfectly together. So you learn all the jargon like PBs, ILs, RTAs, skips, etc.
Time trials.
So you get the full experience of what it is, so you can apply it on other games as well. I get your point.
Yeah, like, not just that, but also it's one of those games that's great for if you want to switch from one genre to another while, brushing up on skills.
Damn, yeah.
I mean, Racer just has a lot of skill sets that can, like, okay, go from this genre to this genre, take that one game where you can, like, brush up a little bit on that one to just dust off the run, get good at it again, for, like, a few days to a week or two, and then swap over to another genre if you need to. I know I'm on that one, but anyway, I gotta get out of here because I got invited to go to a baseball game later in the day, so I gotta get ready for that.
No sweat. Thank you guys for coming in for a little bit of an interview.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks to you.
GG's again, yay, and good luck on your next opponent.
Thanks to you, Mageius.
Said
Enjoy
next
your
opponent is
baseball game and
said next opponent is going to be Ram of Pluto in losers round 2.
That's just it. Anyway, I gotta head out. So bye all.
Take it easy. Great game.
Thanks.
Mageius.
Thanks again
I
for the
wanted to
races.
thank. I wanted to thank everybody watching at home, the people of speedrunning, SpeedGaming, sorry, the SpeedGaming channel, SpeedGaming staff. Jesus Christ, I got a headache. I also want to thank you, Radiant, for
take a break too.
yeah. I want to thank you for being available last minute to comment on our match.
You know me, always willing to make a save.
Yep. Thanks to you for that, man.
Happy to do it. And that will close out our race for the day. I believe we have one going on for tomorrow. I will check what that race is going to be, because I know we got one on the docket for tomorrow to close out the weekend.
If I remember correctly, it's gonna be at the same time on the Speed
Yep.
Gaming channel. The first one, yeah, it's Dwy Guy who won against me against Lilac. Could be an interesting match.
We will see how it unfolds tomorrow at the same time.
Yep.
But for now, that's all I've got. I have been Radiant Variant, and this has been another round of the 25th anniversary Pod Racing Challenge. Pod Racing Tournament, excuse me. Oh boy, maybe I'm the one that needs a break too.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
very
guess
much
we
for
all
Speed
need.
Gaming. Thank you very much to Speed Gaming for hosting the races, to our viewers for tuning in today, and y'all have a great day. We will see you in the future.
See you soon on the track, guys. Bye. Love you all.